Oh, will he just get to A Link to the Past already? No, because we gotta do the cartoon first. You think I can just skip over the cartoon? You think I'm gonna do a complete Zelda series retrospective and not do the freaking cartoon? So, here it is. I'm just gonna take it out of its official case and put the official DVD release of the official Legend of Zelda cartoon into my real, authentic DVD player right now. I don't know why I'm being so sarcastic about this. It's a real DVD. Anyway, pop this piece of crap in, and what do we get?
Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
The, Super Mario Brothers Super Show? What? If you didn't know, Zelda wasn't important enough for its own time slot, so it aped off Mario's. Monday through Thursdays were Mario's time slot, and Friday was for Zelda. So in the DVD release, we get 2 intros at the beginning of every single episode for some reason. It is already clinically insane to keep the Zelda intro at the start of each individual episode. Leave it on 1, or maybe 1 per disc. Hell, maybe even as a bonus feature, but both of them? Before watching any episodes of the cartoon on this DVD, you need to sit through both intros? A little excessive, huh? So you sit through the Mario intro, the Zelda one starts to play, and...
This is the Triforce of Wisdom, Link.
Why would Link need to be told what the Triforce is?
Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever.
And both Triforces? That means that it's going off Zelda 1's continuity, because there's no Triforce of Courage yet. Setting the expectation that, of course, we're incredibly early in Zelda's mythos, so a lot of the commonly associated iconography, terminology, just didn't exist yet. For example, Link is right-handed. Most of the time, anyway. Sometimes it switches. Where in the games, of course, he's always left-handed, at least until we get to the Wii era. Link's horse is named Catherine.
Let's hit the road, Catherine. This place makes me sick.
Yeah, before Epona. Canonically, Catherine. Who'd have thought? So already, with only 2 games to go off of, don't expect this to be like a real Zelda TV show. Expect a mostly generic fantasy kids show from the 80s, with a little Zelda paint over it. Then of course it ends with the iconic,
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Which is pretty much the only thing I knew about this show before seeing it. But let's back up for a second. Because this isn't how the show was presented originally. Being a part of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show means that even though it's the Zelda cartoon, it was still preceded by those live-action segments with Lou Albano playing Mario. Yeah, these were attached to the Zelda cartoon as well. Sometimes at the end, too. So on broadcast, it would have the Mario intro, a studio segment usually featuring some sort of celebrity guest where a conflict arises. The Zelda cartoon would play complete with theme song interrupting this conflict. Then at the end, we would check back in on Mario and Luigi to tie up that storyline. Sort of like a frame literary device or a Russian nesting doll. These were not included in the DVD, but I took it upon myself to track down each corresponding skit for every episode, and it was a complete waste of my goddamn time. At least if I was expecting it to connect, to the Zelda show in any way at all. I've never seen the Super Show, so I really only know about these because of the memes. But I was hoping that they would serve as some kind of an introduction, or at least have any connection to the Zelda cartoons. They don't, but let's talk about them anyway. These shamelessly only exist to invite celebrities onto their show, which is fun in its own way. The first one was Ernie Hudson, and he's sauntering around catching ghosts in Mario's apartment. It's cute. Not a particularly large flex, though, when the irate gamer lands the same guest.
Whoa, what? Ernie Hudson? What are you doing to my show?
Well, in his own way. There's this obnoxious, relentless laugh track that never, ever stops. I know this is just how old TV was, but come on.
I kinda like it.
They're cracking up non-stop. They never quit. Stop laughing.
I'd like you to shake my brother's hand.
Oh, he's shaking just fine.
What are you? That's not even a joke. Stop. It's not funny. It's not, dang it. Some of these celebrities really mailed it in, literally. Like Magic Johnson doesn't even show up in studio. Mario talks to him through his medicine cabinet.
Magic, what do you want to work on first? You hook shot?
Sorry to disappoint you guys,
But what I really want to do is practice some magic tricks.
Magic's really stilted and awkward too. Lou does a pretty good job as Mario. He's hammy as hell, but looks the part and at least gives the role energy. So I guess moral of the story is professional wrestlers make for better actors than NBA players? My favorite has to be the one where Mario accidentally curses Luigi, then calls Elvira for help to undo it, which for a show like this is pretty much the coolest guest they could have gotten. And she doesn't cover up just because she's on a kid's show either. They actually used Elvira twice, but it's like they mixed up the order, because in her second appearance, she acts like she has no idea who the Mario brothers are, but in her first, she acts like they're already good friends.
Elvira, meet my brother Luigi. Luigi, this is Elvira.
Nice to meet you.
Well, get out of here before I meet the rest of the family.
Which goes to show me that they put a minuscule amount of thought into which sketch goes before which episode. They got Little Richard, which must have been the showrunner's favorite because they used him twice as well. But not like Elvira, where they filmed two different skits, they just reused the exact same Little Richard one twice. Here's a weird one where Mario and Luigi are sitting down reading books. Then this girl breaks in with a bunch of her friends in a boombox and starts dancing. The joke is that they're being really loud and disruptive, but who are these people? Both in shoot and in kayfabe. Am I supposed to know who Marilyn is? They even offer to let Mario and Luigi dance with them.
Yo, have a joint in it!
Oh, no thanks, Marilyn.
But they don't. Why? They love dancing, you know, do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side, that whole thing. They're dancing all the freaking time. They're dancing machines. But not here. Of course, I have to comment on when freaking Inspector Gadget shows up.
I understand you plumbers can fix anything mechanical.
Mr. Minecrafter himself. Both shows were done by Dick Entertainment. So the cameo makes perfect sense. This is Inspector Gadget's actual voice actor dressing up and pretending to be the cartoon character in real life. And just so we can't forget who it's supposed to be, the Inspector Gadget theme song is blasting over the entire segment.
Does he always do that?
Yeah.
I've never seen Inspector Gadget. I know, I've never seen a lot of things, so only being exposed to Inspector Gadget through Cinemassacre memes, I gotta say, Mike Matei's impression is spot on. It's incredible, and I understand why he wanted to make that dumb video showing it off. It's actually pretty good.
So you want to do some reviews, Inspector Gadget? I'm better than you are, so I should do the review. Okay.
This segment also marks the first appearance of Dr. Mario.
Are you ready, Dr. Mario?
Yes, I am, Dr. Luigi.
Okay.
And Dr. Luigi, for that matter, before the games, so bravo beating Nintendo to the punch there. What else? I've almost touched upon all of them, so just for completeness' sake. There's also one where they get their fortunes read, and another one where this woman keeps delivering Mario pizza. Only he's not ordering any pizza, but she keeps showing up just to flirt with him.
Mario, my darling.
This never resolves or anything. They never kiss, they never get together. She just keeps bringing him pizza. Apparently this was one of the Brady Bunch kids, so that was a reference for the children's, at the time, boomer parents. Now, are these live action bits funny? No, not really. Do they contribute anything at all to the cartoon? No, but I had fun watching them. In fact, I was as entertained watching these live action segments as I was by anything in the cartoon. So I'm glad I sat through them just for the sake of the show. You know, I'm not afraid of going on weird tangents as this whole video and the last video shows. I liked it, even if my reasoning is particularly shallow. Okay, so first episode of the Zelda Cartoon. We're doing it. We're watching it. First thing I noticed, first episode of the show, after the theme song, first thing we hear, first thing we see.
Another beautiful day in the magical kingdom of Hyrule. Boring place. I used to roam the world, fighting monsters and sleeping in mud. A hero's life. Now look at me.
Is Link bitching and moaning? Way to set the pace, show. Placing expectations. This is our hero. This is what we're getting. A whiny, little sarcastic bitch who loves to complain. Yeah, I know, coming from a guy who only complains. He exposits that he used to be a wandering hero, but then Link, he come to town to save the Princess Zelda. It actually does a good job of showing what the entire series is going to be about. Link complains, ogles Zelda.
Looking good, princess. Especially from this angle.
Then moblins break into his room. The castle has no security or anything. They're able to just walk right into the room with the Triforce, unimpeded, unnoticed. Link, being the protector of the Triforce, means that it rests in his bedroom, and his job is to stop Ganon from getting it. Link then brandishes his sword from his bed sheets, meaning that he slept with it, defeats the moblins. Then Zelda comes in and slaps him in the face for whistling at her earlier.
Ow!
Don't you ever whistle at me again.
And that's pretty much a vertical slice of the entire show. Link complains about something, yearns for a kiss from Zelda. Actually, he doesn't even want Zelda necessarily. When there are other women, he doesn't have a problem kissing them. He just wants a kiss. Ganon wants the Triforce piece, and Zelda just wants to mess with Link and not get her Triforce piece stolen, preferably. And she's... how do I say this? She's an asshole. Whenever Link and Zelda argue, and they argue a lot, despite him being portrayed as a whining teenager, his demeanor is terrible, don't get me wrong, but Link always has a point, and most of the time, I'm on his side.
Stay here today and guard the Triforce.
Aw, princess, it's too nice a day.
Here Zelda tells him that he can't go outside because the Triforce needs to be guarded. So what, he can just never leave? They need better security than just Link. And why is the Triforce right next to the window? Ganon's plan most of the time is as simple as distract Link and Zelda, then climb through the window and steal the Triforce. This works multiple times! Ganon, hell, not even Ganon. Ganon's stupid minions are able to get their hands on the Triforce comically easy. Expecting Link to stay in this one room watching the thing day and night, every day and every night is stupid. And I'd throw a fit too.
Good, because it's time for spring cleaning. This castle needs to be scrubbed from top to bottom, and you're going to help.
Aw, princess.
Cleaning? So not only does he have to guard the Triforce, which is right next to the window in his bedroom, he has to help clean the whole castle? Do they not have any staff of any kind? We already know there aren't any guards because moblins are able to just walk through the whole castle and get the Triforce piece. But they don't have any cleaning staff either? We never see anyone else at the castle aside from Link, Zelda, the king, and Sprite the fairy. Yeah, she's a new invention of this show. There's a fairy named Sprite that they interact with sometimes too. She's kind of like Zelda and Link's maid, I guess. Sometimes in random shots, we do see errant guards around, but they're completely useless. This one is asleep. This one runs away when a freaking dragon is breathing fire on Zelda, and he can't take any time off either. In this episode, he tries to go fishing, but Zelda won't even let him do that.
Aw, come on, princess.
No! Ganon hasn't attacked in weeks, and it's time you started earning your keep. There's chores to be done.
What do you mean Ganon hasn't attacked in weeks, so you have to earn your keep? If this is a time of peace, can't I fucking go fishing? So he has to be on guard when Ganon's attacking and doing chores whenever he's not?
Link, the crew building my father's water park was attacked by monsters. You got any ideas?
Seriously, lady? A water park? She sucks. She's a monster.
You called for a hero, princess?
Yes, but I guess you'll have to do.
She's not even loyal either. There's an episode where someone else comes along and she dumps Link like a bee in a bottle.
How can I get Zelda to pay more attention to me?
Who cares? She's a snot. You should stick with me.
And you know what? She's right, Link. Ditch that zero and get yourself a hero. I'm not implying that I'm the hero. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, and Sprite's even a princess too. That's a plot point in an episode where Link is turned into a frog and he needs a princess's kiss to turn him back to normal. He's trying to get it from Zelda, but because she's such a bitch, Sprite kisses him instead and he turns back to human. This is mostly an action show, but if you've noticed, nobody ever stabs anybody. Link always defeats enemies with his sword beam. Nobody ever dies either. Instead, whenever Ganon or any enemy is defeated, notice how they sort of evaporate into some weird pinkish purple energy. That's because they get transported back into the evil jar. You know, Ganon's iconic evil jar. When he needs to summon minions, he manifests them from this gas or goo or whatever in the evil jar. And when they're defeated, they just turn back into that energy and go back in. They made some other interesting choices with Ganon, actually. Whenever he's speaking, he feels the need to teleport all over the place. Like, Ganon, stop it. Is this necessary? This choice I find funny because it's one of the only things that's actually taken from one of the games. Remember, Ganon isn't directly in Zelda 2, so his only real appearance to this point in the games was as that blue pig monster in the first game, and what's the only thing he does? He can turn invisible and he can teleport. That's all he does, so they just have him teleport all over his room whenever he's speaking. He never teleports when it would actually be useful. He only does it when expositing his evil plan for the episode.
I'll get you, Link. I'll get you yet.
Ganon's always yelling to nobody in particular, whatever his plans are to get the Triforce.
There is a contest of amateur magicians in Hyrule today. I shall enter that contest.
Casting him as this master magician was a weird choice too. Up until now, he hasn't really used any magic in any of the games. He's a giant blue pig demon. I always pictured this Ganon as more of a brute, but he never really gets physical with anyone, instead relying on his evil jar and magic. In fact, there aren't many direct confrontations between them. Link and Ganon only actually trade blows once, and even then only for a few seconds. They're sort of just having proxy wars with each other. Speaking of magic, the show also explains how Link is able to hold so many items at the same time. He has a magic bag where items shrink when inserted and grow back to normal size when taken out. Zelda actually makes more use of this than Link, with him opting to use sword beams most of the time. Zelda kicks a fair amount of ass too, almost as much as Link. They're treated more as equals here in terms of fighting strength. She does get captured a few times, but Link jobs himself too, so they're both portrayed as not being world beaters. There's an episode where Link dies, turns into a ghost, but only Zelda can see him. Sort of like a reverse Spirit Tracks. But remember, nobody ever really dies, so Link was just transported into the evil jar himself. That's the premise of the episode. Link has to guide Zelda to his own body in the evil jar. They have some fun action bits together, but their tactics can be questionable. It always works out in the end because it's a status quo kids show where the good guys always win, but check some of these out.
Link? Huh? Back to back, princess, fast!
Obviously a horrible idea. Tying yourselves together isn't going to make you more effective in a fight in any way whatsoever. I have no idea what they're thinking here. Here's one. Link is being pinned down by this dragon. He can't get a good shot off because he's blocking the fire with his shield. So Zelda's solution is to throw a plate into the air, not at the dragon to distract it or something, just straight up into the air so Link can shoot a sword beam off the plate and zap the dragon with it? How did she know that was gonna work? 1. 2, that's some serious fucking faith in Link knowing what the fuck you're doing there. That's like a vintage Kobe to Shaq alley-oop. Some 500 IQ teamwork.
It offends my royal nose when I must smell these stinky clothes.
Oh my god, she's strangling the bird in Link's dirty clothes. Then worn out, she takes a rest on the bed.
Zelda!
Link!
Oh boy, smooching time!
Ah!
Jesus Christ, Link, have you no shame? What a fucking pervert. That's why Link wanted to tie up to fight too, so he could refuse to undo the belt until he gets his kiss. And it almost works too.
Hey! Knock it off, you two!
Frickin' Sprite, frickin' cock tease. Not the only time she does this either. Typical scenario. Link begs Zelda for a kiss. She rejects him.
You're my kind of girl, princess. Kiss me.
No!
But many times over the course of the episode, or through some romantic gesture, he wears her down, and by the end she's open to the idea.
You still want a kiss?
You bet! Oh boy!
But their kiss is always interrupted. There's many close calls, but he never actually gets it, except for that one time. Okay, obviously this isn't actually Zelda. If the episode title, Doppelganger, didn't give it away. My bugaboo with this episode, Link figures this fact out pretty quickly, yet still falls for the trap.
I knew that smooch was too good to be true.
That's not Zelda.
The episode would have played out exactly the same way had he not realized this was a fake Zelda. So what was the point of having him realize it then? Ganon swapped the real Zelda for this cheap-ass hoe who convinces Link to bring the Triforce to Ganon's lair because reasons, and he does it! Like a fucking idiot! Even after realizing this is the fake Zelda. Eventually it works out for him because it ends in a kissing contest. And you can guess how this goes.
Next. Ow!
The real Zelda would never kiss Link. That brings me to pretty much the only real thought and point of analysis I can give this show aside from just cracking jokes and making weird observations. There's no continuity and nothing can build on each other. There's only 13 episodes, and hell, the things weren't even made in the same order that they aired, so it doesn't really matter what order you see them because they're all basic variations on the same thing. Link and Zelda's relationship is trapped in this state for the entire show. Everything always needs to reset to the status quo where Link is still chasing Zelda and Zelda's playing hard to get. Not unlike He-Man, the first one that comes to mind when I think of 80s shows where everything always needs to be exactly the same every time. In fact, that explains a lot. And I would say the same about pretty much every other show from this period in time. Most cartoons from the 80s existed to sell toys. There's never any drama, there's never any build, there's never any payoff, which, fair enough for a dumb kids show, but watching them back these days, I feel like there's no beef. There's no meat. There's no real reason to get invested in these characters because they're always going to be exactly the same. Nothing of note is ever going to happen to them. They're never going to develop in any meaningful way. And every episode can eventually be boiled down to the same basic ingredients. Pretty much every episode of the Zelda show goes like this. Open in Hyrule, usually the castle. Link is being childish, Zelda is being stuck up. New character of the day type element is introduced. This can be a man who swoons Zelda or another friendly person, but more often than not is whatever new monster Ganon has concocted up. Then, monsters attack. Never Ganon himself, he always sends other wimpy monsters first, then comes himself later if they fail. They're all taken from one of the first two NES games, usually based on art from the manual. As a result of this attack, now there's some kind of chase. But, oh no, they got the Triforce, or, oh no, they got Zelda, or, oh no, they got the King, or, oh no, they got something which requires our heroes to venture somewhere to get it back. They chase after the enemy, sometimes Ganon, sometimes someone he sent, sometimes something unrelated. Then at the climax, they fight Ganon, or whatever the monster of the day is. And the Triforce, or Zelda, or whatever, is safe again. Zelda and Link's kiss is rebutted or interrupted with a comedy beat. Then everything resets for the next episode. Ugh, don't make that face, Sprite. There's a couple exceptions, such as the water park episode. In this one, it's freaking hot, so the king has ordered the construction of a royal water park. This is going according to plan until, I already showed the clip earlier, monsters have been attacking the construction workers, so Link and Zelda go to try and figure out what's going on. And it turns out they were tapping the water for the water park from the fairies' water source, and they were pissed off about it. What's interesting about this one is Link and Zelda have absolutely nothing to do with the resolution of this episode. They just go and fight a bunch of monsters, while off-screen the King of Hyrule, Zelda's dad, was brokering a deal to use the fairies' water. The other notable exception is the one where Ganon's minions revolt on him and trap him in this bubble, but then they try to attack Link and Zelda as well because apparently they have the same goal as Ganon, but they're too stupid to do it right, so they end up just killing each other. And that's really all I have to say about the Zelda cartoon. I mean, there's only 13 episodes, and they managed to sneak them all on this one disc. A lot of content, even with the redundant Mario and Zelda intros at the beginning of every episode. It fits all on this one disc, can you believe that? Now, is the show any good? Probably not. I wouldn't really recommend watching it, but if you have to, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world. Like, I don't regret seeing it. It's fine. I'm not offended. This is definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's entertaining, I would say. It's at very least taining. I don't know if it's entertaining, but it's taining. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got. Shout out to the patrons. Next time actually will be a Link to the Past, so get hyped for that. And never trust anyone who needs a haircut. Goodbye.